Well, hello everyone and happy Monday. Welcome to Lisa Horton Crafts. I'm Sheryl and I will be sharing a project that I made with some of Lisa's fantastic products today. I think, over on the other side of the pond. I'm an hour earlier than normal because our time hasn't changed over here yet. So next week I'll be back at my regular time, but we're an hour earlier today because of the time difference. Let's see. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Roadrunner. How are you? Thank you for being here. So these are the inks that I'm going to be using today. I've got the navy Hokusai navy from the Pick by Paula, and then I've got Early Sunrise and Arctic Frost, one of the limited edition inks, and then I've got Mojito, one of the metallic inks. So those are the four inks that I'm going to use today. And then I have some cutting dies. I've got the layered iris cutting dies, really, really sweet little set. And then the fundamentals nested arches. And I'm using the script text press plate that I'll be using. Hi, Rebecca. How are you? Hi, Susan from Texas. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And then I have the background script 3D embossing folder. And finally, my favorite, the Wishing You Well craft sentiments stamps and dies. So those are all of the projects or products that I'm going to be using today. Um, yes, Marianne Summers. This die, I've had this forever, and I said I'm going to start using a lot of the products that I have in my stash and haven't used yet. So that's why I picked this one. So um, this is my first time actually pulling it out of the stash for since I purchased it. So let's see. Here is the sample that I've made using this one. Really easy, as are all of my cards, but very pretty nonetheless. So this is what we're going to do. I did do some homework ahead of time. All the die cutting is done. So let me bring this in here. I've got the two, well, start with what's in my hand. This is the sentiment that I die cut. I inked it in the navy ink and then die cut it out. And then this is the largest arch out of the fundamental arches. And then this is the largest and this third largest to create this frame. And then I have my A2 card base and a panel, an A2 panel here. And then here are all of the little bits that I'm using for the card. There are some extra bits that, let me get these dies. So there are extra bits, these pieces here. And then there's one other leaf that I did not use for my card, but these are all of the pieces that I die cut out of white cardstock that I'm going to use for the project today. And so what I'm going to do, let me move this out of the way. What I'm going to do first, let me find my ink pad holder. And I'm going to start with, I think I'll do the navy and the Arctic Frost first. Okay, wait a minute, I'm doing this wrong. There we go. Okay. Hi, Susan. Who else is here? Tracy's here. And I think I said hi to everybody else. So thank you for being here. Okay, so I've got, this is just a little piece. I think I used this last week too. It's just a little piece of one of an old tacky mat that I had. So I'm going to just use that to kind of ink on today. And let's see, we're starting with the navy. So let me get my navy brush here. And I'm going to just do the center of the flower just come in with a deeper color in the center and carry it out to the tips. On this large petal of this iris. So pretty. I don't want you, you need to stay over here. And we'll, hi Lorraine, how are you? Hi Lisa, I think you're behind the Lisa Horton Crafts window today because I see Rebecca separate. And just want to get nice coating of color on my little flower petal. Okay, I think that's maybe a little more right there. Okay. And then for these pieces, this little piece that's on top, and these, I'm going to use the Arctic Frost. And not you, you're going to be separate. So these are two pretty blues. I love them together. And this one, I like this die set because there's not a lot of pieces and it's easy to put together. Our clocks change, Lisa, this coming weekend. So next week we'll be back to 7 o'clock your time and 2 o'clock our time. So we're always, I don't know why we can't just everybody do it all together, but they forgot to ask me before they made that decision. Okay, so that's all I'm using with the Arctic Frost. And then for my leaves and my center, I'm going to use Early Sunrise and Mojito. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I just lost my leaf in the Netherland. Hang on just a second. I got to retrieve it out of the bottom of my bin. Oh, for goodness sake, Sheryl. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right, so now we're going to do our leaves. Get them down here. Okay. So this little centerpiece for my flower, I did that in Early Sunrise. And then the leaves were in Mojito. This is such a pretty green. I like it a lot. There's not much sticky on my little mat, but it's enough to keep them from flying around on my table. And we're just inking up this whole stem in the Mojito. Okay, so those are all our little flower bits. And we can move these out of the way. And then I need to ink up my frame. And I used let's see. Okay, then I used this navy for my frame, but I'm not ready to do that yet because I want to. Okay, let me go ahead and take these pieces off so they don't go flying everywhere. When I pick this up off of my glass, it's stuck really well to my glass, which is what I want. But okay, I don't need this anymore, so I'm gonna bring in my other pieces that I cut. Okay. All right. So on these arches that I die cut, I'm going to emboss them together so that the scripting is the same across both pieces. So I'm going to get my, and you can do this if you wanted to do just one piece. You could cut the arch and put, both of the large and the third largest dies, and then die cut it and emboss it, just the one piece. But for me, it's easier to line up the arch if you've got the same size piece. So that's why I'm doing that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and run this through my embossing machine. My beautiful Lisa Horton's Spellbinders Platinum 6. Such a pretty machine. So now I have my two pieces, and the embossing is the same on both of those pieces. So they'll line up and look nice when I combine them. So I want to ink this up with this navy Hokusai. I think that's how you say it. I don't know. But it's navy and it's pretty. I love this color. And I'm not really going for even texture on the color on here. I just kind of want it to be imperfect coloring on this. So I have little lighter spots and darker spots, and that's okay. That's the look that I'm going for on my frame. Just going around the edges, inking it up. And I like this because you can swap out colors and use some of your favorite colors with this. This design is really simple to do, so it's easy to change it up. You can add more flowers if you wanted a fuller look on the card front. And we're just inking. And I can't remember, we fall back, so we gain an hour. Yeah, I like it in the fall. I don't like the spring when I lose time. I like getting an extra hour in my day. So we'll get that this over here. We'll get that this weekend. But then it's going to be darker sooner. That part I don't like. Okay, so that's pretty much all I'm going to do for that frame. And let me get this ink up. Okay, So now I'll put my flower together, which is really nice. I don't know if the camera will show it, but there are grooves on this die cut, so you know exactly where you need to put the piece, which is very nice for people like me that are very puzzle challenged. It works out great. You don't have to figure it out. Already pre-planned and set up for you. The only thing you have to do is make sure you got it going the right way, which I do. And I could have actually put a little more color on my bigger flower, which, let me see if I can find a little brush and just do that. So there's a bigger difference between the two colors. It doesn't matter really, but why not? If we can, why not do it? As I was looking at that, I thought it might be a little too light, but it's okay. We can make it darker now. Oops. I didn't intend to do that dark that way, but that's all right. Blend it out and add more color. And I want to get in here and darken that up a little bit. That's really what I was looking at when I saw there wasn't much of a difference between the two colors. I wanted darker right in here, especially on this one. Okay, that is good enough. And then we keep assembling. And I'll put the center on my flower. Hi, Valerie. How are you? Da-da-da. Put that on there. Okay. And then I'm going to add the little buds to my stem. These are so cute. And even with my big hands, you can do this. This is easy. Slide that down a little bit. So cute. And we'll get this one. Slide it down a little bit. Okay, wipe off that glue. And then I'll add my leaves onto the stem. The hardest part is not having it stick to my fingers. Okay, come on. There we go. And then we'll add this leaf. There we go. And we'll let that dry. And then, let's see, I'm just going to put glue down the center of this part and then stick it on. That seems to work a little bit better. Okay, so there's our pretty little flower. And so the next thing we want to do is work on our background. And for the background, I used, where'd my pen go? There it is. For the background, I used my Press and Mojito ink. So let me bring that over here. I still got the green ink on it. I guess I can wipe a little bit of that off. And then I'll take my A2 size piece of cardstock and I'll put a piece of tape behind it so that it doesn't go anywhere, and put that onto my panel or my plate. Okay, and then we'll just ink up our plate with the Mojito and just tamp and pat. I think I got it covered well. And then put my paper over top and run it through. You know what? Let me, I'm going to move this down a little bit just because of where my paper is on the plate. Let's see there. There, that's better. Okay, and I'm going to run this through. And there is my panel, all nicely inked. And it's got that from the metallic ink, it's got like a teeny little shine. It's really cute. Not a lot, just a teeny little bit. Okay, so we are ready to try and assemble things here. Let me get my plates out of my way. And so the first thing I want to do is add my panel to the front of my card base. So I'll just do that with some tape. And I think I got it right. They're good. I might have to trim my panel a little bit when I'm done. There we go. And so that is our front. And so I want to put a little bit of color, or I think I'll use Artic Frost for this, on this the inside arch. And I just want, look at what I got. My blending brushes came, yay! My Pro Blend. So I'm going to use these just to get a nice little pale blue on this bigger arch. think that's good enough. And okay. So then I'll go ahead and just center this onto my card front. Use some tape for this too. There's a little spot there and there. Okay. And then just want to make sure that I got this centered because I'm going to put the other arch on top of it. So I think that's pretty good. Oops. Okay. And then I'm going to put some foam tape on this, but I'm going to leave this corner empty so I can slide my flower in. So let's see, where's my foam tape? Here we go. Just to add a little bit of dimension to this. So let me make sure. Yes, you can use all of Lisa's inks on the Better Press. They all work beautifully. Yeah, so you don't have to invest in special inks. If you do decide to get the Better Press, you can use all of Lisa's inks on it. I love that. Okay, come on. Here we go. These strips are little. Let me make sure. Okay, so got to remember what corner I need to leave open. There we go. I'm getting down here to the end. And okay, we don't have time for piddling. Let's get two more off of here. Yeah, Lisa's inks are, I'm telling you, I really do think they're the best on the market. And I'm not just saying that. I really do. I have a lot of inks from other companies, and I just think she's got the best ones. They're very, very versatile, and the colors are gorgeous. Just don't get any better than that. You can do so much with them. Okay. I'm going to leave my corner open, so I don't want to go all the way down. Okay. And then I'll just pull these backs off. Well, it should be simple getting these backs off. This little paper is so little. Yeah, you should definitely. You don't have any Lisa Horton inks? Oh no. Christmas, birthday. Okay. Last piece here. Okay. So now I'll just line this up on the edges. And then it's so easy. And then the only thing we need to do now, I'm going to put a couple of pieces of foam square on the back of the flower head here. I think that's good enough. I just don't want it to be flat to the card. Little extra dimension. And then I'll take my glue and put some glue on the base of the stem. And put it on both sides. And then just slip it down in that area where I left the little space. And then put my flower down. And if you don't like this sticking up, I don't mind the buds sticking up, but I don't want the stem sticking up. So I'm going to put a little teeny dot of glue there. So that's not sticking up. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Okay. Well, did I get any glue on there? Maybe if I hold it long enough to catch. Yeah. Okay. And then the last thing we need to do is add our beautiful sentiment. And I played around. I tried a lot of different sentiments because I was trying not to keep using this one, but these are my favorite. I just love them. So I had to do it. But a lot of Lisa's other sentiments will work just as well here, but I like this one. And excuse me, I got to pick this up a little bit just to make sure it's not crooked. And hold that down there for a minute to let that glue grab. And there you go. That is today's project. I thank you so much for being here. I hope that you have a fantastic week. I think Paula will be live tomorrow. And Lisa has a video for us on Friday because she's going to be away. So you'll want to tune in for that. And I think that's all. There you go. Oh, I did do another one I used some of the mulled wine, and then I used all the pieces on this one. This is the mulled wine and winter fir. So 2 different looks for you. But thank you so much for being here. Have a great week, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.